All right, let's jump right in. We've all heard the usual advice, right? Your 20s are for saving, your 30s are for building. But what if that conventional wisdom is missing the single most critical period? Today, we're going to explore a pretty radical idea, that your 50s aren't the home stretch. They're actually the most important financial decade you'll ever have.
So let's just put the question right out there. What if this decade, the one you might be in right now, is the one where you either lock in a future of freedom or sentence yourself to decades of financial stress? I mean, the stakes are incredibly high. And the really scary part, most people don't even realize it until it's way too late.
So why do so many of us get to our 50s and feel like we're behind the 8 ball? It's not for lack of trying, that's for sure. The truth is, life just had other plans for our money and our focus for the last few decades. Let's dig into why that is.
Think about it. In your 20s, 30s, and 40s, you're just juggling everything. You're trying to build a career, maybe start a family, you've got student loans, a mortgage, just the everyday chaos of life. Retirement, that feels like some fuzzy, far-off concept that you'll get to eventually.
And then, boom, you hit your 50s, and a whole new reality sets in. Suddenly, the runway is a lot shorter. You have way less time for compounding to work its magic. For a lot of us, expenses like college tuition or a new roof are still popping up. And honestly, the energy to grind out a side hustle or pull all-nighters just isn't what it was at 25. This is when the pressure really starts to turn up.
And you know, the numbers don't lie. Study after study from all over the world finds the same thing. A huge chunk of people in their 50s, that big slice you see right there, have saved way less than they thought they would. It's a really common place to be, and a dangerous one. But it is absolutely not a hopeless one.
And that brings us to the real heart of this whole conversation. Because despite all that pressure, this decade isn't about being late to the party. No, it's about having one last incredibly powerful shot to completely rewrite your financial story. This is your last big chance.
Let's be perfectly clear about this. The only thing that guarantees you'll fail is believing it's too late. That's it. The truth is, the next 10 years can be the most productive, wealth-building period of your entire life, if you get how to use the unique advantages you have right now.
So what are these secret weapons? Well, first, for most of us, your income is at or very near its peak for your entire career. Second, you have a lifetime of experience which maximizes your earning power. And third, a lot of those huge responsibilities like raising little kids or that monster mortgage might finally be starting to ease up. It's like the perfect storm for getting super aggressive with your savings. But to actually use this opportunity, you have to know what not to do. You have to avoid the common traps. Recognizing these pitfalls is everything, because they can completely sink your plans. So let's walk through the 5 biggest mistakes people make in their 50s.
The first trap, and honestly the most dangerous, is just giving up. It's that little voice in your head saying, I should have started 20 years ago. It's pointless now. That mindset leads to doing nothing. And doing nothing is the only choice that guarantees a bad outcome. The reality is, 10 years of real, focused effort can build a serious nest egg.
Okay, trap number 2 is a sneaky one. It's called lifestyle inflation. Your income is at its peak, maybe the kids are out of the house, and suddenly there's this temptation to upgrade everything: the car, the house, the vacations. But here's the deal. Every single dollar you spend on a fancier lifestyle is a dollar that isn't building your future. This one habit can absolutely destroy a retirement plan.
Trap number 3 is trying to fly blind. If you don't know exactly how much money you need to retire, how can you possibly have a plan to get there? What's your number? How much do you need to live on each month? Without a specific target, I guarantee you that extra money will just disappear. It'll get spent on things that don't really matter.
Next up, we've got the trap of being too cautious. A lot of people get scared of the stock market, so they pull all their money out and just stash it in a savings account. Problem is, inflation is a silent killer, so while your money feels safe, its actual buying power is getting eaten away year after year. You're literally losing ground while thinking you're playing it safe.
And finally, trap number 5, ignoring the massive elephant in the room, healthcare costs. This is one of the biggest expenses you'll face in retirement, and it's totally unpredictable. If you don't plan for medical bills, a single unexpected health crisis could wipe out everything you've worked your entire life to save. Okay, so we know the traps to look out for. Now, let's flip the script. Let's talk about what you should do. Here are the 5 smart, actionable moves that can put you on the proven path to a secure retirement, starting like right now. Here it is, plain and simple. First, you get brutally honest about your numbers. Second, you crank up your savings rate, and I mean crank it up. Third, you make sure your money is invested the right way to actually grow. Fourth, you go on a mission to destroy your debt. And fifth, you get creative about building more than one stream of income. Let's really hit on that savings rate. You know that old advice about saving 10 or 15%? That's for people who started in their 20s.
Since your timeline is shorter, your savings rate has to be way more aggressive. We're talking 25, 30%, maybe even more if you can swing it. It sounds like a lot, I know, but it's what's needed to make up for lost time.
And this slide shows you exactly where that saved money needs to go. That approach on the left, being super conservative, that's a guaranteed way to lose buying power to inflation. But a balanced approach, the one on the right, that mixes growth investments with more stable ones, well, that's designed to crush inflation and actually grow your wealth much, much faster. It's about being smart with risk, not trying to avoid it completely.
Now all this can feel pretty overwhelming, so let's break this 10-year sprint down into smaller chunks. The first year or two is the awareness phase. Just track everything, figure out your goals. Then you shift into the growth phase, cutting costs, boosting investments. Then comes the acceleration phase, where you just max out everything you can. And finally, those last couple of years, you switch your focus to protecting everything you've built.
So this is what it all comes down to. All this info, the traps, the strategies, the plan, it all boils down to one simple choice. The decisions you make over these next 10 years won't just shape your retirement, they're going to define the entire second half of your life.
Because, let's be real, this isn't really about spreadsheets and account balances, is it? It's about what that money buys you. It's about freedom, the freedom to choose how you spend your days. It's about peace of mind, just knowing you're secure. And it's about being able to live with dignity when you're older.
Just picture it, two different people at age 65. On one side, you have the worrier, they're stressed, maybe they have to depend on their kids, their choices are super limited. But on the other side, you have the planner. There's no financial stress, they have a stable income, and the total freedom to live exactly how they want.
Just remember this. The gap between those two lives, between the worrier and the planner, it isn't about luck. It's not fate. The difference is forged entirely by the choices and the discipline you start using right now in your 50s.
This really is it. This is your last big chance. A decade from today, you're gonna look back at this exact moment, and you will either be so incredibly grateful that you got started, or you will have a deep, profound regret that you waited even one more day. The choice is yours.